Alright, I know I said I wasn't going to do another budget run of Terra, but I saw Excalibur's run of, well, this same team, or almost the same team. I think the calls and maybe the friend were a little different. Let's see here, DecidiaInfo.com and Call to Arms Archive, video list, and let's see, there's Excalibur's run in the middle, and yeah, the 0 turn one I'm talking about, Ultimecia friend, and then let's see, Hope, Gabranth, and Jack calls. Alright, so yeah, I don't have a Gabranth call, I have a Cloud call, and I have a Terra friend instead of an Ultimecia friend, so pretty similar. And spoiler alert, the boss will, those Humbabas or whatever they're called, will get turns. So, I don't know, maybe I should have gone friend Ultimecia. Anyways, inspired by Excalibur's run, I decided to give 03 Terra a shot, and another spoiler alert, this ends up kind of working. So, it's really tight in the beginning though, because we're going to use Ultimecia's burst to delete some of their turns before Serah gets, before we get 3 debuffs on them, which really sucks as far as damage output, but that's what we got. So, at least we're getting still some pretty decent damage here. And the idea is we're going to get rid of the boss turns right away, so they don't take any turns, or at least I was kind of hoping when I ran through this that they wouldn't take any turns. They do cleanse their debuffs at 79% and 49%, so I don't want to apply Hope and Jack's calls before then. Yeah, so we're still getting 1 million damage on the burst. And this will get pretty tight though. Oh, right. Ultimecia does apply the 3rd debuff with Hell's Judgment Plus, so that helps. And they're not going to get any turns for a while, so at this point, it's just about doing some damage. And let's see, Terra is back down to 1 Magicite, so a Chaos Wave. Yeah, we're in a Chaos Wave. I know it's kind of early, but I mean, we eventually have to do it anyways at some point, and this will up her Magicite to 6, so I don't have to go too many turns trying to rebuild the Magicite, considering Terra is 0-3 right now and does not have Brave++ or HP++ to add extra Magicite on her Brave and HP attacks. Or I should say as much extra Magicite on the Brave and HP attacks. I'm using the Magic Meltdown, although it's probably not the best. I mean, I'll eventually figure it out, but it's probably better to go for the Meteor, due to the fact that, yeah, see, I kind of figured out here, due to the fact that if I'm able to hit for full damage with the Meteor, which I am, thanks to Serah, then it's an extra 20,000 damage, and in tight runs like these, well, the turn count won't be tight, but in runs like these, getting all the damage out you can, even an extra 20,000 per turn for Terra, really, really helps. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to say it, but link to Excalibur's run of 0 boss turns in the description, as well as link to this music in the description, of course. And so let's talk about budget Terra here. I absolutely do not recommend using Terra as a budget unit, as opposed to, say, Elmarsh or Aerith. And the reason for that is because Terra gains a lot from her ingots and very little from her EX realization or the EX itself. In fact, a long time ago, when Terra's EX came out, I wasn't actually playing at the time, but I think it was pretty commonly talked about that Terra had the worst, if not one of the worst, EXs during the EX era. And when she got her EX Plus, that helped, but it only took a bad EX and made it, like, less bad. Well, I shouldn't say it less bad. It made it decent, but it didn't make it amazing, as opposed to, say, Eldmarsh's EX, which, thanks to the Terra debuff, is amazing. However, her LD does make her quite amazing, I will say. But Terra gets very little from her EX before realization. She gets very little from realizing it by using a book, as opposed to Celeste, who gets a ton. Well, she actually got a lot from her rework, and I would argue Celeste gets a decent bit from her first ingot, but gets almost nothing from her second and third ingot. Whereas Terra will get a lot from really all of her ingots. Her first ingot gives her a stat boost, like most first ingots do. Gives her a better Brave and HP attack, and a lot better. It doesn't just add like one extra Brave hit. It adds like 4 extra Brave hits. It's a lot better. And then her second one allows her to start with more Magicite, and I think it might be the second ingot that allows her EX to add to her Magicite stacks. Pretty sure the stacks are called Magicite. I should look that up. And her third ingot allows her to have a much stronger version of Riot Blade. It goes from 3 hits to 8, which more than doubles the amount of hits. That's pretty darn worth it, as opposed to like Celeste's third ingot, which takes her EX from 5 hits to 8, doesn't even double it. So, and it does a few other things. So yeah, Terra, I do not recommend running at budget. If you feel the need to, give her at least 1 ingot. She's certainly serviceable at 1 out of 3, but I would not run her at any less than 1 out of 3. Unless you're crazy like me, I suppose, because I'm doing it right here. If you're only going to use her for the challenge quests, then she is fine with 0 out of 3 as long as you have her LD and other good characters to use in the challenge quest. For example, I did run her at 0-3 for this challenge quest, along with Bosch, who was fine for it, and Vayne, who was amazing for it. But anyways, I guess I'll talk about the run again. The orb is virtually non-existent with this team. I'm summoning now because Ultimecia is not going to get another turn to Apocalypse, and neither is Terra to Chaos Wave. So my goal is to get them down to 49% as quickly as I can, and then I will apply Hope and Jack's debuffs. Then I will pull out the friend Terra and allow her to Chaos Wave and Burst. Again, friend Ultimecia might have been better, but oh well, it's too late for that, I guess. I'm trying to balance out. I'm debating between an HP attack, yeah, and Protean swords, because of 2 things. One, Ultimecia already had over 80,000 in Brave, so it's not like she wasn't going to cap her damage. And I'm trying to not burn Ultimecia out too quick. Although, I'm certainly burning Terra out real quick. Chaos Wave there was because the Home Babas are really, really close to getting down to the 49%. I will end up switching out my Terra for the friend Terra. And it's important to try and break the Humbabas in order whenever possible. So, hence my use of Meteor. And then I kind of realized, wait a minute, I'm doing more damage with Meteor than I am technically with the Meltdown, and because this is kind of a tricky run, I might as well take advantage of it. So I start Meteoring. One of them goes below, and then the other one should shortly. This is kind of awkward, like, gee, how do I get A below 49% so that A jumps back? And I was like, oh, I guess I'll Ultima Arrow A there. Finishing touch, just try and do some damage, but due to the range resist, it does like nothing. HP attack for the same reason, and then came out of break a few turns ago, so Riot Blade will do the trick, and then A will delay itself. And so now's a good time to Apocalypse, because I want to get those frame turns to unframe as soon as I can, so I can continue to delay the Humbabas by breaking them. It's a little awkward when they unbreak themselves and they still have their frame turns, due to the fact that it could mess up the break order by the time their frame turns go away. Luckily, Ultimecia has no problem breaking their shields with her gravity percentage damage. And now we pull in Hope's Purify. This will give them almost enough debuffs to allow Serah's special aura thing, her extra Brave and HP damage. We're going to Paradigm Shift combo in order to get Goddess's Light applied to both of them, because Ultima Arrow is not up. And now we're going to apply Jack's debuff, which is hitting nice and hard thanks to everything. We'll swap out for the friend Terra. Oh well, Ninja Slice. This will help for the redder aura on A to go away, hopefully pretty soon, so that we can delay A again. I could cast Wave here, but I'm going to pull in the friend Terra. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cast Wave first. Might have been worth it to cast Wave with my Terra and pull in the friend later, but oh well. And I say unfortunately because now I'm going to go into the burst, or not into the burst, but use Trance Meteor, whatever it said, and Ultimecia will not get any turns with the burst effect up. Trance Ultima, wait. And so, if I would have used the burst effect first, Trance Ultima first, then Ultimecia would have gotten a few turns into Apocalypse with the burst effect up, and that would have been nice. But unfortunately, I did not get to, because I do not want the Humbabas to get me turns. In hindsight, though, I probably could have just let them take a turn and would have been fine and would have gotten a better damage output had I just let them take one turn, but oh well. Too late for that now. And friend Terra has 5 turns, so that's enough for 4 cast waves and 1 Trance Ultima. And now I have to cast wave anyways. Oh well. That was the last Chaos Wave, and we're pretty close to getting a turn. They do delay themselves one more time at 29%, but fun fact, they do not actually cleanse their debuffs, so that's pretty nice. I'm using Magic Meltdowns here because I'm worried about not doing full damage to each of them if I use the Meteors due to the shield. So hence why I switched to the Meteor here. Now that B's shield is gone, and now A's shield is up. Quite frankly though, between Hope's debuff and Jack's debuff, I probably had nothing to worry about. Yeah, I mean, if Meltdown can break the shield, then Meteor should have done it. Just gonna start dropping meteors here because I finally figured it out that it does enough more damage than meltdown to make a difference. I'm going to melt down here because it will jump Terra up before they take turns, whereas Meteor did not. 2 more Shockwave Pulsars, that is nice. And I think it's about this time that I said to myself, wow, this might actually work. Not gonna lie, wasn't entirely confident about this working with a 0-3 Terra until getting to about this point. However, at this point, I started to realize that A, the Pombabas were going to get a turn, or a couple of turns. B, we're doing so much damage that I might still be able to win this anyways, as long as I don't get, like, broken and then hit with one of those needle shot Brave and HP attack things. I should be able to stay above the HP threshold, especially thanks to Hope's Call, bringing our HP above the typical threshold. And speaking of Hope's Call, we're going to use Shell. That should make things a little bit better for everyone. And then Serah's C65, which I probably should have used before Hope's Call, but whatever. Needle Shot Plus, so yeah, thanks to Terra having Brave and not getting broken there, it's not going to do that much damage, as well as thanks to Hope casting Protect on everyone. Hope's Call, however, does not protect your battery, your phone's battery from draining. Pulling it in like that, however, does. And now that they're taking turns, I'm kind of going all out here with Ultimecia at this point. Not so worrying not so much about burning out with her. And I'm trying to debate if I should C65 here. And the reason for that would be to pull the Pombabas out of break, allowing us to re-break them a little bit sooner. Same with Serah there, but like Serah's C65 is already up, it would have been completely pointless. Still hitting decent with Ultimate Arrow. So no more C65s for Terra. However, we have a good amount of Brave, but we just Meteor Plus anyways to break them both. That way I don't risk breaking them out of order, and that will allow Ultimecia to Apocalypse before they get any more turns, giving us some pretty nice damage here again. Oh, that extra Brave damage is fantastic. This late in the battle, and Ultimecia is still hitting for 9s with her LD, that's fantastic. Unfortunately, Ultimecia just lost Protect and Shell. Luckily that wasn't the Needle Shot Plus. We are coming pretty close to finishing here, and we're only at 40 turns. Drop some meteors to do some damage, and still not a good time to C65 Moonlight to keep the extra attack and max Brave buffs on everyone, particularly Ultimecia, as she will run through them very quickly. Terra's EX is up, but I do not care. It's easily, at 0-3, it's easily her worst skill. You could almost argue, even at 3-3, it's still a worse skill, but it's a lot better at 3-3. The Pombaba breath missing Serah was pretty nice. Serah will get an extra turn of battery everyone, and if needed, buff Ultimecia again. So that. I have to be careful because of one thing, because the debuffs, the very important debuffs, Jack's debuff and Hope's debuff, will run out if the Pombabas take one more turn. And we will not do these amazingly high damage, so I'm trying to pump out as much as I can from Ultimecia. B's about to take their turn, so they're definitely going to lose the debuffs, but I mean, it's pretty done here. And a brave attack from Serah, just in case they Needle Shot Plus, which they did. That will keep us above the HP threshold because we have no way of healing anymore. And I'm debating between Meteor and Meltdown. Riot Blade is definitely not going to get used. Meteor there was able to get full damage, and with this Apocalypse I should be able to end it before the enemy gets another turn. You can kind of see how A is taking way more brave damage than B thanks to the debuffs. So the debuffs were a huge help and very important to keep on there. And there you have it. 0-3 Terra. Again, I do not recommend it, despite the fact that I did it. And all that's left is to show, I guess, the party. Good artifacts for Terra and Ultimecia. And workable artifacts for Serah. Only one double cursed, unfortunately. And that took me a lot of triple books to get. What a terrible farm that was. Really sucks. And here we have Terra at 0-3. Thank you very much for watching.